hit the wrong button there. Stop the whole fucking video. Piece of shit fucking recorder. They should have. Are you sure you want to stop? What happened to the? Are you sure you want to stop shit? Okay, so here is the drawing mode. Delete the shit. Look at this thing screaming north. We're gonna wait another hour. Let me speed up the story. Playback story. Oh fuck. This is gonna be blistering fast. So hold on. Buckle up. Breakouts went long. Okay. Totally stopped out of these market orders. We were just going with the flow. Coming in Asia. Breakout. Non-directional breakout here. Scalped out. Still screaming north. We sell at the market. We sell at the market. Do the same thing we did back here. We sell into strength on close. We have to wait for the close there. Okay, so we're finally making money on these. Now we're above water on these market orders, and a little bit trapped here on the. So if we're running the buy stop on top of that right now. Buy stop, sell stop, hedge. More money on the south side. Plus we sold at the market. Sold at the market. Okay, now we're just mechanically getting in on a breakout here. Super big trade because very small volatility. And we're looking for this hole to fill. Now we're buying on limits into this. So you can go either way. You could trade a little breakout. I mean, it's a 1 hour chart. We're looking to take this out. We got in here on the breakout bots. We're long on pendings. Deep state orders here. Okay, and you cashed out of something here, and if you didn't, you definitely cashed out into this. See how it sucks up into this. It clears out these orders, but not to the top. But that's why the cause and effect, the relationship, it's satisfied. The auction is here, the trap. Now you're coming back. You're filled on sell stops here. Low volatility breakout. Now we're looking to buy into this trap for a dead cat bounce, cashing out here. And you're long on the stops. No sells filled. And that scalps over. And you're still holding half the position. Now you put sell limits up here. Right. Buy limits again below where we're at. Let's see if I can scrunch this down. Please hold. Here we are. We have buy limits down in here in no man's land, but this is the trigger to go long. A little trap here, but we wouldn't trade this bar or this bar on a stop. This one we're trading on stops. That one we just sold at the market. Plus they filled our pendings here, and those are up. The breakouts are up. Now we're going to put the buy limits down here. So you really have to have this multi triage approach. You can't just treat the patient with one. So here's your buy limit fractal. We auctioned in here, come back up, cash out. Maybe it goes lower. We still got buy limits pending here all week long in a 40 pip range. We're waiting for the volatility to die out in the 1 hour to let the breakout bots get filled. But you could anticipate. Now this is where you don't have to go to the fucking 15-minute chart. It doesn't make sense, because what you really want to do is look at this new low and think, oh yeah, on a limit here, sure, that's a good trade. And then look at this, wow. And it never takes that out. And this, you're still short right now. Now you buy, but see, we just got filled on these limits. You buy at the market. You wouldn't buy at the market here, and this is where you have the discretion. You have to ask yourself, how many buy limits do I have here, and how far am I underwater there? So when people are saying, this guy, you're going to get killed, you're going to get killed. If you put your orders in too close, there's not enough money in the account, you're going to get killed. Now, you can make the argument that when we get to here, people are going to sell, and if you could just make it to there, boom. See, now you just made money on it. Are you holding the rest of that for the engulf and take out the previous day here? And did you get long on the buy stop bots here, right? No triggers on the sell stop bot. Look at that dumb shit entry. Classic triangle, right? Everybody see the triangle? What the fuck, right? I mean, how retarded do you have to be? Never makes a lower low, compression, boom. But you're long because you bought this shit. And now you're short because of this double top. You place your orders on the double top. How hard can it be? On the swing high, you got filled. And they're going to come all the way back. You're cashing out. Now you got trailing buy stops on top. Now you got buy limits deeper down. What could possibly go wrong? So, yeah, you're going to get stopped out of some of these tickets. Do you really want to trade that big on each ticket now? Think about it. You really want to trade like that? Here comes Asia. The scalp bot got in there. This is the lowest volatility so far. I think we're coming into Friday here on the chart. Here's where they trapping people. But look at the if your broker has zero spread, you got filled in a limit here. And here you finally got filled on these tickets. Go figure. Always getting out in the bounce into this floor here. So you're aware of this price. You're aware of this price. As soon as they come down here, you cash out to here on something. Then look to buy lower. Still no triggers from the volatility bot. It's too crazy now. You have to be in limit mode now. You may not get an entry on the 1 hour chart. See how they just keep expanding the volatility? Them. Now it just died down. Okay, you just got to fill on the buy stop side here. No fill on the sell. So a little bit of scalp built into that first entry. Okay, they're coming after your stops. You've got buy limits here. And if you have your orders spread, you have buy limits here now. Buy limits here, buy limits here. This dumbass bot just went long. Then it went long, then it went long again. Trend continuation, just like before. Now it's untouchable from a breakout standpoint. Now, hopefully, you're sold at the market here on limits. You're just cashing out. Now you're cashing out. Now you have another breakout forming because the market's simmering down, but still. Your buy limits here on this basement floor are filled. So you can range trade this thing to death. It never has to go anywhere. Looks like we can go out there. Sell limits got filled. Scalp. Looks like they're going to punch it through. So you're selling on limits now that we placed here, and then you're going to sell at the market when need be. Only sell counter at the market, and you could buy at the market on small shit before the breakout. You go, oh dude, that's going to break out. So you could say, okay, you know what? It's sideways. I'm going to buy at the market. It doesn't have to be that it's up hard, but you're going to sell with a wider stop when you sell up here. Then you're getting filled here on your buy bot, your low volatility. Here, no fill on the sell side. No traps. Here's a trap. Okay, now you're selling to new fresh prices here. Let's try to zoom out a little bit. So get the zoom out going here. So the reaction we're going to get up here is going to be pretty dramatic, I'm sure. Look to scalp the first break of that as it pulls back. So when you look at the 1 hour chart like this, it becomes painfully obvious that this hole here, had you run a 40 pip stop, you're up on that trade. But what if you bought here with a 20 pip stop or a 40 pip stop? And what if you put it here with you're like, I'm going to buy a 60 pip stop? Which one of these order banks, you're up on all of them if you had a stop that was 100 pips, and you're looking to make 100 pips. We have a perfect structure entry here. Breakout, pull back to the breakout point, go long. Well, yeah, shit, no kidding. But you could place the buy limits here when the market's up here, anticipating that pullback without Fibonacci. The market's here, you put the buy limits in. Look at the fake breakout, or look at the trapped breakout bot here. But running the same script, I think this is probably the threshold for me for volatility. Once it goes bigger than this, at this point here, I'm like, you know what, this bar here, okay, but that one, next one, here, classic Asia, come back, undercut, come into this undercut here, stop hunt the bulls, and then here comes the dumbass breakout bots getting filled long only. Little trap there. Now it's getting choppy, but we've cashed out up here. We're up on that trade. Now we're really up on selling new highs here, but we've already got the limits here. So of course we're selling high. Now we just bought this undercut, cashing out, waiting for the volatility to dry out now so we can get in on the breakout, let the breakout bot do its work. But here I've got limits all the way to here. This is the undercut of the profile. And right there it's going to be all right for the buying. And we just went short here on the non-directional bot. Here, short again. Hopefully scalped into it. So we were actually in a hedge there. You won't be able to trade like this in the United States. If you're going to trade like this, or you have separate accounts. Here's a clean breakout, but it looks like a trap. And we're going to put buy limits down below here now. See if I can get that to zoom out. Okay, so now that is the trap, and that because that's a huge bar. It didn't close up there, but yeah, look at this beautiful fill. We always have our buy limits at new lows here. Going back, a spike, and it doesn't mean that you could. In other words, this is new lows here too, but you have to figure. Don't put too many tickets on. Okay, you're up on all these trades now. You're looking to take this out. Maybe you're holding 20% of the position. You just went long here if you're a low volatility entry person. You have that breakout system running, and you have to take the money and run because we're going lower. Always potentially going lower. And what's the next lack of structure hole? So there's no structure here. This is the new real estate side of town. I got my buy limits packed in that thing. And just set and forget it, trade, man. I mean, what the fuck you sit around for this shit for? Here we come. Oh, I'm in. And now they're starting to come into my tickets. I would be scalping out of something right there. If we close up, okay, cashed out. Now I'm going to go flat, let the other limits pen. And what I'll do is, since I'm flat and I have no trade running, I turn on the breakout bot, or I become the breakout trader on the 1 hour. And I just trade a simple breakout Goober systems. You know, here I put in a sell stop. They trap me a little. Buy stop, sell stop. But look at this nice run into, of course, the structure trade. Now we get the buy limits here. We're up on these 3 tickets, and maybe we're flat now. I just watched the Samurai guy trade that he flipped an account. Yeah, he's traded a lot of stops. He flipped an account. Put 500 in and ended up with 1,500. Oh yeah, in 1 week, sure. But you know, you could do it here. And he's doing it without stops, so he's just risking the account, which is a lot easier, a lot less. It's a lot of work to figure out where the take profit and the stops are. I think if he's running no stops, he's taking profits when he thinks, oh, this is a good trade. Get the fuck out. So this strategy test is really good for testing you're looking into the future. Would anybody buy here? Would anybody sell here? Are those good places to sell? Is that resistance? Is this support? Would you buy down here? Look at this, the work the market's done to fill this hole. Look at all these come in, cut in, pull back. Cut in, keeps making fresh. Here's the most dramatic response because of this undercut. This is why you get this huge monster move. But for a person that could not see this, the trading at the market scheme, where you're just buying because it's down at the market, buy down, you couldn't perceive that. And maybe you're long at the market and you're long on limits and even stops. So I think that is the Holy Grail, is a three-way approach. Look at this thing, just wow. Look at that puppy go into my buy limits. Wow, nice fill. So definitely is a white knuckle. If you have too many orders here, in the new low world. Well, look at that baby go. So I'm sure that if you were looking at a more zoomed out picture, you'd be like, oh boy, I think we're going to take out this high. At this point, are you really going to sell at the market every time it goes up? Yeah, maybe not so heavy, because you're like, holy shit, now this is where it becomes psychologically demanding. You're supposed to sell or cash out of stuff up here, and you also have to be aware of, why did that thing pull back so fucking hard? Yeah, because of this peak into here, that whole vault of uncharted water. And once we got above this fractal, everything there became, wow, just golden. Are we pulling back to the breakout? Yeah. So we're always in a constant run to here, run to there, run to there, run, and it's going to start, the volatility kicks up. It's going to be run, run, run. And if it's going to be a buy stop volatility breakout entry, you're going to have to take that risk of getting caught. But you're also taking the risk of having the market overextend into your limit grids, and then they're going to fucking blow it up too. There's no fucking hole. There's no, you can't avoid, like, even if you found some really beautiful woman, she's probably still got to take a nap. You just can't bang her all day long. I mean, you can't get her on some drugs, but like the opposite of what Bill Cosby was doing. Instead of putting them to sleep, you get them so wired. Yeah, they just come on a rap. They want to get banged so hard. But look at this beautiful sell into new highs. So it's hard to, it's scary to put the order in there. I get it. Oh, because wow, what if it keeps going up? Okay, what if they fucking come over and rape your girlfriend? So here's the buy limits too. It's very scary to put the buy limit in there, and just no, they could keep tanking it. They could keep tanking it. But look how beautiful that is. Scalp to here. Scalp to fair value, which should be the middle of the road. Unfair, unfair, fair. And so how do you know it's fair value? Because it's where it hangs out, the noisy part of town. It's all fair value. It's all well and wonderful till, you know, Johnny starts running with scissors up here. And of course, here is the labored thing. You know, once you fill this volatility, you have a labored thing, and the whole time this is the vapor vacuum you left behind because you're so. This is how planes fly, apparently. The wing creates a vacuum underneath it, so as the air is coming in, you're getting lift from the pressure is uneven above and below the wing. So if we scalp to here, which we kind of had to get out of that, we're long on limits now, waiting for a bounce back up into the floor now. And I put limits in here, limits all the way down. And I would just walk away from this and just think, oh, beautiful. I don't have to babysit this shit. I can see what's happening. Sure, you could say, well, go to the half hour and get a stop entry. Okay, now you got to come to the chart every half hour. You want to do that? You're long on limits right now into here. Oh, finally paid off. So, beautiful, right? You can't even believe that trade is that stupid. But it is. It's that fucking stupid. I think people want to have a very complicated system. But look at that trade. Can you believe that? How easy that was? I don't know if this robot's making any money, but look at that bullshit. It never took out this, so no fill on the sell side. But if we went long here, and we got stopped out of maybe a couple of tickets, the art is getting in these tickets, no duplication of entry or exit. And also, are you going to run on top of that the breakout system on top, and you have the market order system? So you have the clock, you have the volatility. Look back down here. I want to get filled on limits. So all my limits are here now. I'm short on the stops. The breakout trade is making money. Into the can't seem to get out of. Gotta delete this. This thing's trading its ass off. This damn robot. Trying to zoom in on the chart. So look at this beautiful breakout trade. Scalp into more limits now, right? We're getting filled on pendings that have not gotten filled yet. And these are filling now. And the breakout bought into the limits is making money. And on the clock, you bought here, you bought here, you sold here. Every time it moves down for hard for 1 hour, up for 1 hour, you counter trend reversal trade that. people would say, well, why would you do that? Because if you bought here and you bought here, look at all the money you made to here. But the thing is that when I see that, I'm like, holy shit, that's bullshit. Because look at, you would, if you could have held through that with a 30 pip stop, you made this, plus you sold counter into it, that price pause. Here, you did not make that much money. But do you really want to be the guy that's selling here and selling here and buying here? You're going to get whipsawed. If you're selling here because you're like, yeah, got confirmation on a big move, you're going to get fucked. But I know people are thinking, oh, dude, I'm going to buy, I'm going to sell. You're going to get whipsawed. You're going to end up getting whiplash. Yeah, it's counterintuitive. It's counter logic. What's going on here? Look at this thing take off. And look at the feet. It's been fed, well fed. We've come down here. We take 2 new lows. Double supply zone there. You also have the trend line you can draw, which is just nothing but an example of lack of volatility. And when are people going to figure it out? On closing prices, this is a representation of lack of volatility. It's a triangle, it's a wedge, it's a flag. It's, you know. Now the breakout bot just made a clean fucking entry here. But if the money management bot's coming in here, it got stopped out. Now you're buying in limits again. You just bought at the market an hour ago. And you're filled on limits below here. Same pattern, different day. It just goes on and on. Take any chart, run a 1 hour chart. You can do this. There's nothing other than, the only special thing I have here is the grid. I'll post it again, the link to the code. This song remains the same. Now you bought at the market, but you're long on limits because you're coming into these 2 fractals. Hopefully you're short. You're holding something short from here. But what is the overlap? And how many tickets can you manage? What are the size of the tickets? Are you trading one instrument? Are you trading dual? Are you trading buy and sell based on what the market's telling you to do? Now here, if you scalped out a little bit of that market order, and you kind of had to because you knew that this was going to be where they would, if it's a true breakout, they're going to come back to this low. The people that are, you know, flipping this over, they're going to go, you know what? We bought here, but guess what? It's like ridiculous, and they're going to sell here. And here comes a. So when would I sell at the market? Is on small moves with a tighter stop to trend continuation trade it. So trend continuation trading to me is this pause here. It's up a little bit, sell. So I'm not selling hard at the market with a wide stop because it didn't move big. Here, if this closes up hard, I would sell at the market, but I'm already short on limits off of this fractal, or what do you want to call it? It's not a Williams fractal. This is just a one zag, right? Just like this one. The closing prices, so you get the volatility. The close is actually the trend. Double top, and here comes the infamous Goober bot is short and cashing out into here. We just went long on this, so it's a back and forth thing. Goes from volatility to no volatility. We just got filled on limits again, cashing out hopefully to here, but depending on how you're sizing your breakout strategy against your limit strategy, there's no perfect. It's how much money is in the account, how big are the tickets, how hard do you want to work. Do you want to put 1Ks in there and guarantee that you're going to lose X? Okay, now we're getting filled on limits again. Look at this thing come all the way back to the starting gate, all the way down. So people would say, well, I went short here and I'm still holding. I let your profits run, makes more money. Well, of course. But look at these just gimme trades, just dumb shit where we come down to here and it just rips, just start ripping. And right now we're buying on limits, not the robot. But we are, me, myself, and I. And look, this is the top inside the bottom. Almost made it there. Here we're taking some heat unless we're still short from this breakout. Also a double top on the. So let me put some markers in here that aren't going to move. I like how there's a sell stop down here. How retarded is this robot? So we definitely, this is the vault. We're long on anything below there, and this is the pool, about a 60 pip pool we're willing to buy into. dark pools. I was watching this Bitcoin guy out of Russia this morning, and some guy in the chat says, yeah, some old guy, yeah, there's no dark pools. They can't manipulate the market. Oh my God. Dude, step away from your flat earth compass. What does a flat earth compass look like? Stuck at true north. So we zoom in, but we can see the pool, and then we can. Well, now we don't have to drop down to the 5 minute. We should be able to see everything that's going on here. So we've finally cashed out into the floor on something. We bought for 20 pips deep. We cashed out to here. Then we bought more to here, and this was the better trade because it went trap to trap. We could sell up here too. We could trade limit to limit, and also for icing on the cake, we have the market order. So it didn't close up very far, so we didn't really sell much at the market. And when it drifted down small, we bought a little bit at the market. So whatever the last price pulse was, we're going to get in the opposite direction there. Now here's coming to Asia. We're long on limits, and we're short on stops. Long on limits here, short on breakout stops here. Nice clean break. More sell, more dumbass trades here. Short into limits. Maybe we're flat now, or we've cashed out. We still got more limits to fill. I know we put them down here in this green box here. This is where it's difficult. So a little bit of buy stop trap there on the volatility bot, and it's clean break up here, and now we've cashed out into this floor on maybe, we could say, half the limits. To be conservative, we would want to get on half the position here, even though we may perceive that they're looking to say them. I don't really know who these people are, but we filled this, and could we crush this and go after the previous day's high by the next day? Are we accumulating in the unfair value in the auction? Unfair value and this is fair value back up in here where everything was all noisy. So these are the questions you'd be asking as you play back the market. Your breakout bot just went long. If you can see the low volatility here, and it's just got filled, and now the sellers are going to probably come in at this top for a little bit. Okay, more dumb breakout trading, and now if you're still holding the limits from this plunge, which everybody's probably saying, "Oh, I can't believe you're buying it." It's classic. Thanks for letting me know I'm right about the trade. If people are freaking out, I'm like, "Oh boy, thank you." And we are going to have to sell something up here, and we're probably only got 25% of the position left now. We could have gone long here. It buy at the market on small. I guess I should write up a list of how I would perceive each power, each thing as it unfolds, because there is a trade plan for a small move. There's a trade plan for a big move on the market orders. After 1 hour, if it's gone up hard and it drifts back a little, buy some with a tight stop in the market with a better take profit number. So look at this rip back off of these highs. So the trap guys, the guys that do the trap, and here comes London open bullshit, and we have the stop hunt after the. So if you're going to trade this, okay, now I'm getting filled on limits for sure. Right there, and coming U.S. Open, I've already cashed out into this. Right, so I bought this, cashed out into here. I'm up here. No fill on the buy limits, but fills on the buy stops. Nice clean break, real low volatility here, and we still haven't filled this whole thing. So there's unique situations where when you see this 2 hours of low volatility, you're like, oh boy, they could probably take this out once they fill that. And once again, here comes the semi-risky, like I said, small pullback at the market buy. If this thing pulls up a little bit at the market, I would sell with a tight stop, but right now we're getting filled on limits. And what is the market's coming into your limits, and how many of you put out there? And if you put out too many, it's going to cancel you from going beyond your 2% total limit of your account. You can't do any market orders. You can't do any stop entries. You're basically at the mercy of the market, whatever you loaded in there limit-wise. If you've ever been in the position where You're like, holy shit, look at this thing. And you're like, I'm getting killed, but you knew there was a low here, and you knew you should have limits in. And you knew there was a very fucking high probability that you knew this low exists. You didn't even have to know this was coming to know that this is where you got to get the fuck out, right? Previous bottom. Then people do come in here and sell. Look at this thing go. So here, you're selling now. Going to cash out. See the reaction up there? See how hard that was? See how that just ripped off there? Now on the smaller time frame, it looks like an amazing double top on the 5 minute inside that. This is what these markets do. And then people, so the people that can handle a wider stop, they've accumulated this whole thing here, and now they're really making money as we come back after this hole we've left behind, and we're looking to fill that. So I don't know if that helps. Plus, look at we're short on limits here, cashing out, going along into this. We're waiting for volatility to dry up to get the stop entries going. Stop entries were filled here on the breakdown. Too volatile for a stop entry right now. Just long on limits in here, cash out, throwing more limits above this thing, and maybe you're flat. It really depends. It depends how hard you want to work. So the guy says, I'm trying to find a trade plan to just step up and throw in some orders. I'm not tied to the screens all day. Yeah, I mean, if you really don't want to just throw them in. You want to look for the new lows and new highs and put your stuff right around there in the supposed supply zone or demand zone or whatever they want to call it. Trade blocks, dick blocks, whatever the fuck it is. And you just have to let it play out. And because you have the rinse and repeat, in other words, if you sold, and if you did sell up here where this is up into that trap, are you buying into this plunge? And if it does a double bottom, you're going to have to reload the buy limit grid here maybe. If this cuts to here, you're going to have to come back because it's already cashing out of that. But you can see how having, if you're trading limits deep above and deep below that lasts a longer amount of time, and if you trade it on the true holes in the market like this, you got a buy limit here, you can, if you have enough money in the account, just say, well, I'm just going to buy down here and just a fucking random shit. Because if you did that, well, if you bought here, you know, how big did you buy in that window? And, you know, this is the cash out point. So, yeah, it's complicated. I don't know if that helps, but, yeah, that's the story. It's sticking to it.